Hello and welcome to part 10 of Beautiful Chord Progressions with me, Fake Dr. Levin. For this 10th concept, I want to share something really special with you. It's a musical topic called constant structure. And constant structure means a lot to me because there's this deep philosophical element to it that I think about all the time. Constant structure basically says that if you take a chord and let's say this A major chord right here, and you take this exact chord and you don't change it at all, but you scoot it around to different roots, so like to B here, or to G major here, or to A flat major, without changing the voicing that you're using, you can just use your ear and rhythm to guide you and make great music that way, without regard to key, without regard to any necessary tonal center that has to be present. You just let your ear guide you through while keeping the structure of what you're playing constant. So let's take a listen to an improvisation using this concept. So I kept the major chord there the whole time, and I used constant structure as my technique for writing the progression. I kept the chord exactly the same and moved it around, and I focused mostly on rhythm, my ear, my sense of resolution, my musical intuition. So I love this concept so much because it's so simple. It's basically just saying that if you decide very firmly on an element of music and you stick to it, and you don't worry too much about it, and you leave room in your mind to worry about other musical elements while you have this solid structured foundation within one element, you can create musical results very intuitively. So in other words, by simplifying what you're thinking about, you are able to express yourself more freely. And you simplify what you're thinking about by posing a limitation on yourself. You can only stick to this structure while you're composing using constant structure. And this limitation might initially feel like it's hindering your creativity, but it gives you the freedom to be creative in new ways because you do not have to focus on all the fronts that you're used to focusing on. So I was able to focus a lot more on my rhythm. I was able to focus a lot more on just reacting to the sound because I wasn't thinking very much about the sound. I was going with this structure that I just was like, all right, I'm doing constant structure, I have to stick to this. So the intention and focus that came from that limitation really helped me. Now, I'm not saying that you should always use constant structure or that you should use it a ton. I'm saying that it's incredible how much it helps to sound intentional in your playing, and how much it helps to create creative limitations for yourself to increase your focus in your playing. And constant structure is one great example of how you can achieve that. If you want an example for how you could use that for a melody, let's say, you'd be like, alright, so my notes are only going to be these 3 notes. And I'm going to move within these 3 notes. I was able to focus a lot more on my rhythm, my phrasing, my slides, my dynamics, my articulation, and I got a lot more out of those 3 notes than I normally would because I had set that limitation. Constant structure is an example of a limitation that is incredibly helpful. So let's try it with a different chord. How about let's try it with this chord. Now this is a major 7 chord in first inversion, and it sounds really cool when you move it around. Let's try it with a minor chord. How about this guy? The fact that I kept that structure going let me focus on other elements, and it worked beautifully because we had that nice, strong backbone of this harmonic structure. Constant structure. Creative limitations allow you to be more creative. If you sound like you have intention in what you're doing, then what you're doing will sound good. Those are the 2 big lessons that I get from constant structure. So I hope that makes sense and that you can think about those concepts too, and that helps you with your music. I'll see you in the next video.